Social Doc, interview 22, 23, take one.
What could I answer?
From point A to point B?
Yeah.
Hell if I know.
Well, I'll tell you.
No,
really.
I'm white kidding. She kind of veers off like topic while we're talking. Anyway, well, you brought it up.
Don't, because
they're going to cut it out. Hi, I'm Mark.
And I'm Debbie.
Constantino, and we are EVP specialists.
Well, for me, I was kind of born into it in the fact that I was an only child. The house I grew up in was tremendously haunted. I wouldn't be shocked if the property is still haunted. And you know, when you're a little kid, it wasn't as popular as it is today. You had nobody to talk to. So I read about it my entire life. I mean, it's fascinating. I was fascinated by it as well as terrified by it. But what I found is, as I grew up, every place I moved, it wasn't the property. I think it has something to do with, you know, either my interest or it's me, or I do think they kind of feed upon you as a battery. And just like they'll drain your batteries, they'll drain your energy. And, you know, I think that in a sense helped it manifest. And the more I saw, the more it's addictive. And so I've been in it my entire life. Now you?
Yeah, me. Mm-hmm. And for me, it was mostly Debbie. I mean, you know, I always believed growing up, but I never really had any experiences that were concrete. So when I met Debbie, it was like, okay, hey, we're going on vacation, so we need to bring this book with us and we need to spend a night at the haunted bed and breakfast. So I was like, all right, whatever. And then I would just kind of go through the motions, just kind of follow behind her and let her do what she's doing, and you know. And then probably about 5 years after we got married, I actually got touched in the same way, in the same place that Debbie did. As soon as we moved, you know, out west, we got an apartment, and at that point it was kind of like the light bulb went on, and it was something that no matter how hard I tried, I could not explain it away. And then I just kind of jumped in, and you know, we're just fortunate that it's led to where we are.
Yeah. I think too, I'm a 2012er to where there's something going on. The veil is thinning, and I think in that it's time. It's time for this to come out. It's time for it to come out of the closet. And in anything, in any kind of wheel of cosmic life, there's good and bad. I mean, these are the spokes that make the wheel spin. You know, whether it be, there's a need for Satanists, there's a need for Roman Catholics, there's a need for every spoke in that wheel, otherwise the wheel won't turn. So I think it's a fantastic thing. And if it's time, it's time. If people aren't ready, that's fine too. And I do think that the veil is thinning and thinning and thinning. And maybe that's why it's so popular now, and people are receptive to it now. So that's my opinion. But
I think there's different aspects, there are different ways you can look at it. I think in one sense, with the paranormal being so popular, I think it's a good thing because it really has some really, really smart scientific minds that have an interest in the paranormal and have an interest in trying to figure that out. I don't think that would be happening so much if the paranormal wasn't as popular as it is now. Mm-hmm. Another, I think, way to where I don't think it's kind of a real good thing, because there's a lot of people out there that are just like, you know, hey, how can I make a living off of the paranormal? And I'm like, you know, I don't know.
Well, that's
I've got a day job. If you can figure it out, you know, let me know. But it's drawn a lot of people into this field that don't really care, you know, anything aside from, hey, I want my own show.
well, first off, I mean, it's invaluable. And if you ever told me, 10 years from now, I'd be sitting next to like John Zaffis or, Rosemary Guiley. I mean, it's a wealth of knowledge. These people have had a whole lifetime in the field. To be able to turn and, have a cup of coffee and talk to this person, it's invaluable. I mean, I can't tell you, that's like, not so much the locations, my house is haunted, but to go there and talk to people that live the life and have lived it since childhood. And, you can't put a price on that. And that to me is worth the price of the ticket right there.
Whenever we do an interview or whatever for the radio, we'll always say, if there's anybody that's new out there listening, go to one of these conferences. I mean, there's a wealth of knowledge here. You sit, you listen to hear people speak that have been in it forever and a day, and are not just trying to, just give you a line of BS. It's what they live, it's what they've experienced. And if you're new in this field, conferences like this are like really invaluable.
Oh yeah, I mean, I've learned so much in this past weekend, and that's how we all learn, teach each other.
That's how we roll. Basically, I mean, you know, when we first started with EVP, you know, even with the paranormal, Debbie's been in it a lot longer than I have, but we were the people that would pay to go to events. As the time went by, we had somebody say, you know, you guys get crazy stuff. Why don't you think about, you know, speaking on EVP? So we talked about it, and we said, you know, if this is what's meant to happen, then let's give it a shot. You know, it was never something we were looking to do. Where we are, wherever that is, you know, it's not because of us. I mean, we're standing there holding a recorder. I mean, we have the passion. We put in, I can't tell you how many hours a day on EVP. It's probably the most labor-intensive part of the paranormal. But it's basically because they are choosing to speak to us for whatever reason.
Just a little knowledge. They don't have to talk to you, you know? Like, I've had so many people, what do you use, what color, what? But, and they're like, well, how come you're gay? It's not about that. They don't have to. If I were dead, you know, I have somebody doing this or doing that or seeing what their true colors are, I wouldn't talk to some people. So it's all really pretty much, they're choosing to talk to you. And, you know, you better treat them right, because that's why we're here.
We have made some lifelong connections, and I think, you know, it's really important with what we do, because, you know, you never know when that person's phone number is going to come in handy and say, hey, you know what?
Nope.
This is what's going on, you know, and it's happening to us, or it's happening to somebody we know. You know, what's your take on it? You know, and we have used phone numbers more than once. So,
yeah, it's not only that too. It's, you know, we're only seeing ghosts, spirits, maybe jinns now, which I've heard of and never really knew what they were. But this is what we see. This is the tip of the iceberg. What's over here? What's here? If this is all we're seeing, what's beneath us? What's above us? You know, and how do we fight it? It's like, you know, okay, I see a snake. Is it poisonous? All right, well, I see that snake. I need an anti-venom. Are you a Roman Catholic snake? Are you know, how do we fight it?
I think the best message that I can give is, you know, if this is something that you have an interest in, just take it slow. You know, take the time to learn the right ways. And I think what's most important is form some sort of a protection ritual that you do. Doesn't matter whether you're walking through a cemetery in the middle of the day, or you're going to a place where it's the darkest energy that you've ever heard existed. You know, you don't know when you're opening yourself up to whatever's there. And if you go to a haunted location, you know, you don't know, it might be a tame place, but you don't know what the group that was in there the night before has done, and what they've brought in or what they've opened up. So I would say protection is the most important part of what we do, no matter how deep you get into this field.
And, you know, I agree with you, and I think it comes to you too in subtle ways. And by the time you realize that you have, you know, like mice in your house, you're so far infested. They're living in the walls. They're living here. You can't see them. I mean, it's really no different.
And as far as the protection thing, I mean, we're not just saying that because it's the proper thing to say, because, you know, we're fortunate enough that some people may know who we are. You know, this is about, we're doing this from experience. I mean, we, forever and a day, we recorded at home. We stopped about 4 months ago. We don't record in our house anymore because it was just, there was too much negativity involved with what we were doing. And Debbie was right, it's insidious. You know, you don't really realize it until it has like a good grasp.
It comes in very
I'm your
subtle.
whole family.
And then your life will just spiral out of control so quickly. And before you know what happened, it's like a pendulum swinging so fast. But you know, you gotta, like, I think the Pickmans used this example, you gotta kind of step out of the way and look at it as a third person point of view and readjust. You know, like, really, I mean, what are you fighting about? You know, it's, you know, not only that, our children, our everything. You have pets at home. You know, you have all kinds of stuff. You gotta really put your life into perspective and what's most important. You could still do this, but, you know, you shoot a gun, you're not gonna shoot it in your living room. If that's what you do, you skeet shoot, you know? So, you know, try to keep things in perspective and stay focused.